You're watching an Avocation Systems product video for the HX-0808HAC/16. We're currently looking at a rear panel shot for this product, and as we can see, it's an 8x8 HDMI matrix with a 16x16 analog and digital audio matrix that reside in a 3RU housing. And because of the conversion capabilities of this product, it's actually much more than that, and we're going to get into that here shortly. But first, we'll take a look at control options. As we can see, we have RS-232, USB, TCP/IP, IR, as well as front panel, and there's a web interface in development as well that's going to allow you to control this product from any browser. Now, as we can see here, we have 8 inputs and outputs of of HDMI. As with all of Avocation's HDMI products, they're 1.4 compliant, which means they can do 3D and 4K video, anything that falls within the 1.4 spec. Additionally, they all manage your keys and EDIDs internally, so setup is extremely easy. You're going to plug in your sources and your displays, power everything up, and start making routes. When those initial routes are made, your EDIDs are negotiated and your keys are exchanged, and everything is stored. So all subsequent routes thereafter are much quicker, so there's low latency between switch times. There's no blacking out of other zones when switches are made. It's the way HDMI was meant to be distributed. And there's no special software needed. Like I said, everything is done internally for you. So setup is taken out of your hands and managed internally extremely easy. It's made extremely easy for you. So now let's take a little bit closer look in the audio side, because that's where the true power of this product lies. Here we can see we have 16 inputs and outputs of analog audio. As with any HAC model, however, we actually have twice as many digital audio inputs as we do analog. In this case, there's going to be 32. We have 16 optical inputs and 16 coaxial inputs, and these units are not tied together in any way. They're independently routable, so that means that it is a true 32x16 digital audio matrix. And like previously discussed, there's 16 digital audio outputs in the coaxial format. So this switch is extremely powerful, and it's extremely powerful because it's a completely integrated matrix switch. We've listened to dealers and heard your pain about how difficult it is to work with HDMI and audio in a distributed environment, and we've incorporated all those problems and came up with solutions for them and implemented them all in this product. So what that means is that all audio formats in this matrix can actually be converted, whether it's the audio coming from HDMI or analog or digital audio. That means that we can now strip the audio from your HDMI signal, and it can be routed out any analog or digital audio port. So that means, yes, if you have an HDMI audio coming out 7.1, it can actually downgrade that to analog and simultaneously playing it in any or all analog audio zones. Obviously, now we can also convert any analog audio, and you can actually route that through any HDMI or digital audio port. So you can kind of see where we're going for this. That means you can convert any digital audio format and route it out any analog or HDMI port. And that kind of gives you an idea of how powerful this product really is. But we'll look at that, take a look visually at what we're talking about here, because I think it's going to really give you an idea of what you can actually do with this product now. So we'll take a Blu-ray player as an example, and we'll insert it into a single HDMI input and kind of show you what we can actually be done with a single HDMI input. Now, with a lot of common examples here, you'd be coming out and going directly into a display. And there are many instances where in the same room you're going to have a set of speakers in that same room. This product now lets you do that simultaneously. You're now going to a display and to a set of speakers in the same room from that single HDMI input, which solves a lot of problems in and of itself right there. But if we want to step up the level of complexity here, let's take that single HDMI input and now come out into a receiver, 7.1 surround sound, we'll say, now before going into a display. Now, additionally, we can actually come out simultaneously any digital audio output. Say in this example, we're coming out into a 5.1 system. It's not going to actually downgrade your 7.1 coming out of your HDMI to 5.1 now, because this switch is actually capable of playing different audio formats in different zones simultaneously. So what that means now is that we can actually come out an analog, a 2-channel zone, and listen to it in 2-channel without downgrading the other zones. So, and we're not limited to coming out single outputs. We can actually come out any or all outputs. That means we can come out multiple formats. So in this instance here, we're actually coming out 8 analog outputs, as well as a digital output and HDMI output. Now, this is all happening from a single HDMI input. Now you're really getting an idea of how powerful this product is and what it can actually do and how many problems it can actually solve. One of them that may arise actually is syncing issues. Obviously, when you're converting these formats, it's very possible that audio and video might not match. We've actually thought of that and incorporated syncing settings for you. And now we've allowed you to just lip sync on every single analog and digital and HDMI output. So it doesn't matter where you're having syncing issues, now you have an answer for it. And you can set the sync discretely in milliseconds up to 1 second. So, which should be more enough to overcome any sync issues, and now all your audio and video will always match. That means that this frees up all your analog inputs for audio-only sources. And because of the quality of audio in the matrix, what comes out of it's going to match what you put into it. So if you want to use high-quality amps on the output side, you're going to have a fantastic sounding system with this unit. So once again, visually, we'll just take a look at an audio-only source coming in. Obviously, we can come out any or all analog outputs. We can also go out any or all digital audio outputs. But because now we can also come out HDMI with that same source, now if you have sources that only have displays, that actually makes that capable of displaying and listening to audio-only sources. So now you have, say, Sonos. Now you're actually capable of listening to Sonos on your display, which may not be something that's in high demand, but it certainly has the functionality and flexibility of the switch, and allows your clientele to pick and choose exactly what they want to watch and listen to when they want to watch and listen to it. So other added features on these units are output volume control on any HDMI, analog, and digital audio output. It can be set discretely. It can be ramped up and down in 48 natural logarithmic steps, which is real natural for how the ear hears things. It also has input gain control on all your HDMI, analog, and digital audio inputs, meaning if you have sources coming in at different volume levels, now you can adjust that up or down on any of your inputs, so all your sources coming in and all the volume level on those sources will match one another. It also has a 6-band EQ on all HDMI, analog, and digital audio outputs. So now you can actually refine each individual output to your client's liking. Once again, very powerful. If you have not quite as much need for audio, we also have an HAC-8 that has 8 inputs and outputs of analog and digital audio. Comes in a little bit lower price point, but with all the same features of the HAC-16. If you'd like more information or info on how to contact us, please visit the support page of our website at avocationsystems.com. Thanks for watching.